Hi there, folks. Welcome back to the Nightmare Cabin. I've just got home. I'm going to be doing a gig review now. I just got in from watching Left to Die. The band spawned from kind of a spin-off, really, of the Gruesome Project, which is predominantly Matt Harvey from Exhumed and Gus Rios, who's drummed in a whole bunch of bands as well. Malevolent Creation, most notably for me, and obviously Kill Division, who Carl Simons he was on the show a few weeks back. Yeah, they did Gruesome, which was death-inspired death metal. The first album or two was wrote in the vein of the first couple of Death albums, and I think they did an EP as well, which was pretty inspired by Human. And then they did a live stream last year where you had Gus and Matt, and they got Terry Butler and James Murphy, and they had a venue for 2 nights. I can't remember what that was under the name of, but they did Spiritual Healing in full. What was the name of that band? Was it Human Monstrosity? Something like that. And then the project's carried on. They've swapped James Murphy for Rick Ross, and now they're under the name Left to Die, and they're doing Leprosy in full, with a few numbers from Scream Bloody Gore. And I went to see them tonight in London at the Garage, and it was pretty freaking awesome. It's got to be said. Yeah, they basically made their way through the Leprosy album and just peppered in, sort of stopped off really with Scream Bloody Gore songs along the way. I think they've done about, well, obviously they did the whole of, they didn't do it all in order either. They saved Pull the Plug till the end of the gig, which makes sense. Yeah, they opened with the first 3, well, I've got a set list here, funny enough. If you're thinking of going to the show, definitely go. They've got t-shirts and all that good stuff, but I'm a little bit skint at the moment. I'm still recovering from Christmas, and the last thing I need is another death metal t-shirt. So I picked up a signed set list for £10, and I had a tenner in my wallet. So I thought, yeah, when it's £6 for a pint of beer, I didn't see that doing much harm. And I managed to meet Rick Ross as well. So yeah, I got my Leprosy CD signed. This was actually signed by Terry Butler about 100 years ago. This wasn't my copy. I actually bought this off of Carl Simons, who I mentioned earlier. He was selling some stuff around the time Brett Hoffman, well, he sadly passed away not long afterwards. I think that a lot of people were selling stuff on eBay and just doing general things to raise money for his to pay off his medical bills, but then he sadly passed. I don't know how it works in America. Does the bills you still have to pay it, or if they, but if he still had to pay for his medical bills, I think funeral costs as well. They were generally just raising money for Brett's wife, and yeah, Carl was selling some stuff on eBay, and I bought a signed copy of Leprosy, and yeah, so that's Terry Butler there. I managed to get Rick to sign it as well. I couldn't, obviously Terry was there playing, but he wasn't hanging about, so, and I was worried about missing the train, so I thought, oh well, I got it signed on that set list anyway. Yeah, I got it to sign my Massacre, and yeah, he got to sign my other Massacre CD as well, and I got Ed, the vocalist on this album. He was in London just a few weeks ago with Monstrosity, who he's now in. So I got him to sign that. Ed Webb, that's it. So yeah, that's signed by 2. So a successful night in terms of getting signed stuff. You could be. I might have been slightly worried that the sound was probably a bit more too modern, too sterile. No, sounds raw as hell. Let's get this camera to focus. Bear with me because it's annoying. Come on. And I'll find its feet eventually. But no, it sounded really raw. Gus fucking phenomenal on the drums. They played the songs perfectly. All the little squeals, all the little fills, and all the little touches are all there. And seeing these songs done live as well makes me realise how good the drums are on. Who was it? The drums on his, what was his name? Terry Butler? No, Terry Butler's on bass. I just said his name, didn't I? Div. Who the fuck was the drummer on Leprosy? He was drummer in Massacre as well, wasn't he? I'm under a complete brain fart. Apparently he's retired now. Lives in Japan. That's why he wouldn't do the... Bill Andrews, that was it. Yeah, his drums on Leprosy are phenomenal, and because some of the riffs, I don't want to say simplistic because I can't play them, but they're not as complex as I thought they originally were. When I was seeing Matt and Rick playing, you know, how much the drums actually contribute to the songs. There's some of the stuff, I mean, like songs like Born Dead, sorry. Excuse me, I think it was Primitive Ways. Can't remember now, but there's one bit where it just really just kicks in, just really, and then just it feels like another layer of guitars going, and the drums underneath it are just fucking phenomenal. But so yeah, like I say, they just make their way through. They do like 2 or 3 numbers off of Leprosy, a couple of songs off Scream Bloody Gore, a couple more numbers off of Leprosy, and again they just go back and forth. I think they played about 5. They open, yeah. I'm trying to think of what they did on Scream Bloody Gore now. They obviously did Zombie Ritual. They finished the set with Zombie Ritual. They did Mutilation. They did Baptized in Blood. And I can't remember which ones off what albums off which now. But what was really cool, they finished with Zombie Ritual, went off and come back and did Pull the Plug. But as Pull the Plug finished, it kind of rang out and then just sort of went into Evil Dead. And fucking phenomenal. The way it just rang out and then just... So it was finished Chugging the Head, it was just feedback and like, yeah, it's just a really cool touch the way they melded into that last song. So yeah, I think it was about 5 numbers off of Scream Bloody Gore with Leprosy in full. But if you're a Death fan, you owe it to yourself to watch this, because this is a fucking awesome show, and it's great seeing these songs done live, done perfectly as well. And I'm loving this at the moment. You know, I think they all. Shall I tell you this? Or fuck it, here we go. Left to Die are working on new music. There, boom, it's out there. But if I didn't tell you, someone else would have. It didn't seem like it was that much of a secret. But yeah, I mean, Rick Ross obviously played on the Scream Bloody Gore tour, I think, and he was obviously in Mantis, which became Death. So a lot of those songs that ended up on Scream Bloody Gore, he was in the sort of writing session, early versions of those songs. So I can't see why they wouldn't do Matt, Terry, Rick. Sorry, Gus, but get what's his name in from Autopsy, who drummed on Scream Bloody Gore, and do Scream Bloody Gore in full. Why not? Sky's the limit. They could do, you know, I don't know about with James Murphy what his situation is, but he did those 2 shows. I don't know, maybe he's just not up for touring. But you've got that. You've got Death to All, you know, and they're constantly mixing up the set list. Death to All have played songs in their set now that Death never even played. And I'm all for them playing, you know, Symbolic and Human in full and whatnot. Yeah, the sky's the limit. I think, you know, I'd love to see, that would have been a perfect gig. Left to Die and Death to All touring together. Left to Die come out, they do the early stuff, Scream Bloody Gore and and Leprosy. Between the two, and then Death to All cover the Human Onwards, and between the two of them, it wouldn't hurt Left to Die and Death to All to do the odd song here and there off of Spiritual Healing, just to tie things up. But yeah, Chuck Schuldiner is, his spirit is well alive. He's more alive today than ever, in my eyes. He's, I don't think Death would have played the venues that these bands are playing now, and especially like in terms of festivals, in terms of record sales and T-shirt sales and stuff like that. His memory's being honoured and kept alive, and his music's being celebrated. I mean, when I interviewed Gene the other week, I even said, like, what are the chances of Tim Amar, I don't know how you pronounce his name, coming out with Death to All and doing a few Control Denied songs, and Gene said, like, it's not something he'd thought about, but it's certainly nothing he's adverse to, certainly not against the idea. But unfortunately, Tim passed away a few days ago. But yeah, I'm all for this, and I'm all for albums to be played in full. Some people don't like it, but I really like it. I geek right out on it, and whenever I'm into an album now, I'm looking on these set list websites and seeing how much of it has actually been played live. I think it's like a testament to an album about how well it's, how much of it is played live. But yeah, no, really enjoyed the show. If you haven't seen it yet and it is coming to a venue near you, definitely go with it. Go see it. So you owe it to yourself. And yeah, I'm happy all round. Saw a good gig, got my CD signed because I'm a geek like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Go watch Left to Die. So take care. Thanks for watching. If this is your first video, welcome aboard. Check out my Death retrospective where I go through the whole back catalogue. And if you're a regular viewer and you've not watched that yet, you go watch that as well. So yeah, there's plenty to go through. I've done hundreds of videos at this point. So have a good weekend. I'm going to go to bed now. So good night, everyone. See ya.